You all had excellent analogies for genes versus alleles, so let's talk about them. Okay, this one is incredible. The idea is that the gene is soda, but we all have different alleles of that gene. So maybe some of us have Diet Coke and some of us have Mountain Dew and some of us have Sprite. And remember, we each have two alleles of every gene because we get one from each parent. So maybe I have one Diet Coke and one Sprite. Maybe you have two Diet Cokes. And I also think this is excellent because sometimes we're more likely to have an allele based on where we're from. So if you're from Atlanta, you are much more likely to have Coke alleles than you are to have Pepsi alleles. This one is also great. Here, the genome is an outfit. So let's say that we all have a shirt gene and some of us have t-shirts and other people have sweaters and other people have polos, right? So like the t-shirt or the sweater or the polo is the allele. And I think this one's really good to demonstrate because like there is no shirt. I think this is where people get confused, is that they think that the gene is like the main version and then alleles are the other versions. No, no, no. Like there is no like standard shirt, but there are some shirts or some alleles that are more common than others. And analogies are helpful for understanding, but they're not perfect one-to-ones. That's why like you should have two shirt alleles, but we only have one, but like great, love it. This one uses cars, which I think is interesting. And so let's say everyone has car, but some of us have a Toyota allele and some of us have a Camry allele and some of us have a Kia allele, right? There is no like car, but there are different types of cars. So car is the gene, and then the different types of cars are the alleles. This one is pretty great. We all have milk in our fridge, but some people have dairy milk, some people have oat milk. I like this one too because again, like maybe one of them is much more common. Maybe it's much more common to have dairy milk in your fridge, but in this example also everyone has milk. There's nobody who doesn't have milk, but like some of us have oat milk because if I drank dairy milk, I'd be very upset in the mornings. This one is so scientific, but I love it. I think this is a great one that I've never heard before, is that an element is the gene and an isotope is the allele. If you're a chemistry person, I think this might help you. I love this so much. Again, we all have the same set of genes, but we have different versions of those genes that make us all who we are or that contribute to who we are. I think that's kind of cool, and I love that you guys were playing along in the comments and bringing in some new analogies that I hadn't heard before. Excellent.